Nintendo's 2021 schedule, not 2021 schedule is fully packed. And we already have a couple games confirmed for 2020 for the next year. So at least we actually have games that we know are coming out. Pokemon Legends Arceus, even though I'm not gonna buy another Pokemon game again unless it's actually good, which is impossible given Game Freak. Zelda Breath of the Wild 2, which is confirmed for 2022 release, and Splatoon 3 and Mario Plus Rabbids 2. Or Mario Plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope. That's the title. So I'm just keep saying as Mario Plus Rabbids 2. But what other games could Nintendo reveal? Dun dun dun. So Nintendo's schedule is pretty big. We have two Monster Hunter games, a couple of Mario games, Mario Golf and Mario 3D World, a new Mario Party, new Wario Well. We also have many third party exclusives. The most important being No More Heroes 3 and Shin Megami Tensei 5, and an Advance Wars reboot, and Pokemon Diamond Pearl remix, which I think will be the big sellers of the holiday season. But what could Nintendo be coming out with 2022? Oh no, we forgot Metroid Dread. We forgot that game even existed. But yeah, basically a lot of games is what I'm telling you. Miitopia, forgot Miitopia. Zelda Skyward Sword, HD, forgot that game. Yeah, and Pokemon Snap also releasing earlier this year. But what could Nintendo be releasing next year? Yes, E3 is over, but Nintendo will likely release a Nintendo Direct pretty soon, probably around the end of the year. The showcase games coming for early 2022, and price of Splatoon 2, not Splatoon 2, Splatoon 3, and Zelda Breath of the Wild 2, and other related projects further down the line. So, what games could Nintendo show for the Nintendo Switch? The Nintendo Switch. Since I think Nintendo Switch Pro will not be announced next year or not be coming out next year. That's just my personal opinion. I think 2023 is a perfect date for another Nintendo console. So basically, 2023. So what could Nintendo's 2022 year look like? So we already know the big games of the year. I think Nintendo's going to give Nintendo Switch's last year a big hoorah. So what games can Nintendo show? First is Kirby. Kirby hasn't had a new game in a while, and Kirby was a no-show at E3, but I think Kirby would obviously be an earlier 2022 release, alongside Pokemon Legends Arceus. Pokemon Legends Arceus being a big game for Nintendo Switch, and I think Nintendo's not really give up on the Switch. They actually said the Switch earlier this year is halfway through its lifespan. So, Switch is 5 years in its lifespan. The Switch came out in 2017. The Switch is going halfway through its lifespan, which means the Switch is 4 years old. I did math on my computer. But the Switch is 4 years in its lifespan, and next year will be in its 5th year. So that means the Switch will not be going away for a while. That means Nintendo will likely release a new console in 4 years, which is 2025. So expect 2022 to be another big year for the Nintendo Switch. So first is, of course, is Kirby. We haven't mentioned Kirby. Okay, we're gonna start with the beginning of the year. I think at the beginning of the year is a perfect time to put out a new Kirby. Yes, Legends Arceus will probably hold over for that time, but March seems to be a good date for a new Kirby game. I was gonna say Breath of the Wild 2, but they're gonna probably say that for the big holiday game, alongside Splatoon 3 for the big summer game. Kirby is a perfect game series to put for that time. I know Nintendo's gonna freak out they don't put out a couple of Mario games, so a new Mario Strikers would be just fine. Mario Strikers would basically fill the void for Nintendo's obsession of having a Mario game every year. Like, come on, Nintendo, we don't need a Mario game every single year, because we only have all the games like evergreen titles like Mario Odyssey selling as well. We also have Mario Golf and Mario Party coming this year as well. But we could actually have a sequel to Super Mario Party coming late in the year in October as well, as this Mario Party seems to be a holdover for the next Mario Party game, as it's thus reusing old boards and old mini games. Same so newer audiences can have them. Of course, they're going to have another port. I think coming to trends of bringing back Mii's Tomodachi Life is a perfect game to put on the Switch. People could say, but it's gonna be pretty hard because it's a 3DS game, and it needs a second screen. But Mario Maker also needed needed a second screen as well. But that was already proven wrong. Same thing with same thing with the Smash Bros. For Wii U Stage Builder, which the Smash Ultimate Stage Builder is clearly based on. I think more 3DS ports are probably going to happen. Even the canceled Metroid Dread game is actually making an appearance on the Switch, which was originally supposed to be a DS game. So, I think Donkey Kong will probably get a new game as well. Donkey Kong will probably get a new game probably around September. I think September is a pretty good date so it doesn't get in conflict with the big holiday titles. Like Breath of the Wild 2, Mario Party, so you can have that big Mario game. And, of course, another Pokemon, of course, probably not another Pokemon game, but again, Game Freak is Game Freak. The prior release another Pokemon game to be greedy or something like that. But Orders promote Legends Arceus DLC, which is probably the most likely thing for Pokemon. We'll probably get another Pokemon spin-off. I think the next Pokemon spin-off will probably be another reimagining of another old Pokemon game. Since he brought back Mystery Dungeon, and we brought back Pokemon Snap. The next Pokemon franchise to bring back is obviously Pokemon Ranger. Pokemon Ranger was actually sold quite well on the 3DS. It would work very greatly with Nintendo Switch's motion controls as well. I'm surprised, and of course you can play the game without motion controls as well. Pokemon Ranger for the Switch would actually be a pretty good game. It could even be a remake of the first game, basically. And that could probably release around the same time as Pokemon Snap and Pokemon Mystery Dungeon DX, around March to April. And I think a remake of the older game would be much better. Or a newer game basically of the newer Pokemon. Kind of like how they've been bringing back Mystery Dungeon or Pokemon Snap. Another game they could easily make. I know some people don't want to see another Mystery Dungeon remake, but yeah, remake Mystery Dungeon Explorers the Sky. Simple. I know CBR doesn't want to see it, but come on. Explorers of Sky remake? You can't just not make an Explorers of Sky remake and make the original Mystery Dungeons remakes. And yeah, the other remakes are not, something else. But yeah, where is our Explorers of Sky remake? It is kind of odd that we don't have Explorers of Sky remake, but I think it's because of development we don't have one. That we'll most likely get one next year. Explorers of Sky is a very big, is a very popular game. And instead of just making the two versions, they could just make it Explorers of Sky with all the same and stuff as well. So and of course they don't have to add any new Pokemon with the exception of like the Galarian forms and Sylveon. Yeah. And the Alolan forms as well. You don't really need to add any new Pokemon. You can even reuse the models from the other game, reusing the same art style as well. And that art style is actually pretty good. But I think a Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Explorers the Sky remake could also work as well. Or finally a Pokemon Ranger remake. Or a game that could just go to Lazy Round and give us Let's Go Johto later in the year. But I think it'll just be another spin-off coming out like in 2020. Yeah. Because we have Pokemon Diamond Pearl remakes and Gen 9 could be saved for 2023. What other games could be making an appearance? Another game that could be making the appearance besides Tom Rossi White for the Switch, and a new Mario Sports game, and of course, there was one more franchise that we could mention that isn't really big, but Nintendo could of course have another Out of Left Field revival. Advance Wars was a game that no one was expecting to come back. I don't know how well it will sell, and Nintendo's probably doing the testing while to bring back this franchise like they did with Pikmin 3 Deluxe. But I think another older Nintendo franchise could be primed for a new remake, and that is Chibi Robo. Chibi Robo is another Nintendo franchise that Nintendo has basically forgotten about. But I think if Nintendo wants to see if the series can be successful again, all they really have to do is just remake the first game and put it on the Switch. I know people like, really, another remake? But again, if Nintendo wants to see if the lesser IPs do well, they can easily just pour up down a Chibi Robo remake sometime in August or sometime in December. And I think people would be happy with that. So Nintendo could bring back the lesser known IPs. Chibi Robo was a pretty fun game on the GameCube. And it's a shame that this game didn't really get the same love. And didn't really get a proper sequel. And thus put up Chibi Robo in a random park to Queen. I think that Chibi Robo getting a remake would be perfect for Nintendo's schedule of the year. now we're going over third-party exclusives. We don't know what third-party exclusives will come out, but Nintendo obviously could put some third-party exclusives as well. There is also rumors of Resident Evil Outrage. Resident Evil Outrage was a rumored game that was supposed to come out, but it was not announced at E3 for some reason. Resident Evil Outrage, I think, is probably going to be for next year. Or that's probably why Nintendo didn't even say anything about it, or Capcom at all. Because Nintendo has a real policy on third-party games. And we also haven't even mentioned Mario Plus Rabbids and Zelda. When will Zelda and Mario Plus Rabbids come out? So, Zelda could obviously be coming out in November before Black Friday. And Mario Plus Rabbids will likely come out around August as well. Ubisoft will probably put it out when they want. There's one other game that we haven't mentioned, and that's ARMS and Fire Emblem. That's the problem. Nintendo has so many IPs now. We could have a Redfield revival of several older Nintendo franchises. But ARMS would also be could be a February release or a June release. But ARMS 2 could also come out in the next year. As well. ARMS 2 was also a frequently rumored game as well, and ARMS sadly still sold pretty well. So Nintendo could turn ARMS into a franchise. Another franchise that's could get is a Fire Emblem remake. The rumored Fire Emblem Genealogy of the Holy War remake, which has been going around for a long time. The game could be delayed to 2022 in February, most likely date. And this is the older Fire Emblem game, but there has been a rumor of the remake for the Super Nintendo game, which could happen. But the first game, the original Fire Emblem, got ported to the NES, but there's also all these rumors of Fire Emblem Genealogy of the Holy War remake for Nintendo Switch. But again, Nintendo's already remaking a couple other games, but this is based off what Nintendo has sold this year. I wouldn't be surprised if we get another Outer Redfield revival like of Advance Wars. And of course a couple updates in the newest franchises. The only elephant in the room I have not mentioned is Mario Kart 9. I think Nintendo will probably delay that even further to 2023 because they already have Splatoon 3, Legends Arceus, and Zelda, which are all three massive titles that will likely sell 10 million copies plus. And if Zelda Breath of the Wild 2 gets delayed to 2023, then Mario Kart 9 could be that big title. Or it could even just replace Super Mario Party 2, and that could be the October release of the year, which means we'll have 4 10 million selling games in 1 year, which will be insane for Nintendo. It will probably be the best selling year for Nintendo since 2008, the most successful year in Nintendo's history. So what do you expect to see in Nintendo's 2022 year? So do you expect any Outer Redfield revivals? Do you expect to see more Pokemon spin-off revivals? Or do you expect another Donkey Kong game? And of course more other games like Fire Emblem Genealogy the Holy War remake, which has been leaked for a while. So that's basically about the Nintendo of 2022. So what do you expect to see for Nintendo 2022 schedule? It's gonna probably be very busy for Nintendo, though. Either way, goodbye.